1993's Jurassic Park is often heralded as the most airtight plot within the Jurassic World franchise. Aside from the Barbasol can teasing a possible sequel that Steven Spielberg wanted to make, Jurassic Park is mostly free of plot holes and diverging plot threads. However, there are still a couple of things that can confuse any viewers while watching. And one of those things is the sick Triceratops that Dr. Harding is looking after when Ellie comes up and observes the animal for herself. Today, we are going to look at some actual evidence of what made this animal sick in the Jurassic Park movie. While on the tour for Jurassic Park, Alan looks out of his tour vehicle to see a sick Triceratops in a field and ends up getting out of his vehicle to go and see the animal up close in person. Joined by Ellie, Lex, Tim, Ian, and Gennaro, all of the guests look on at the animal in amazement. But then Ellie realizes that the Triceratops is actually quite sick and that her pupils are dilated. After assessing other symptoms of the animal, the paleobotanist realizes that this must be pharmacological or from local plant life. Finding West Indian Lilac amongst the vegetation around the Triceratops enclosure, Ellie asks Dr. Harding if this is actually something that the animals can actually have access to. Dr. Harding admits that the park workers know that West Indian Lilac is toxic, but he insists the animals do not eat them. Ellie tests this theory by saying that she needs to look at the dino's droppings in order to make sure. She goes and finds a pile of Triceratops dung, digs through it, but does not find any West Indian Lilac berries. This is where the movie leaves the viewer, thinking that the Triceratops remains sick before the rest of the movie continues. However, in the original script for Jurassic Park, there actually is an entire explanation as to why the dinosaur is sick. According to dailyscript.com, which actually has the entire original David Koepp script, there is a portion of the script that is actually cut out from the original movie and actually explains why the Triceratops is sick. The following is actually from the original script. The skies are really foreboding now, and there's a sense of growing urgency. Ellie is by the animal, a short distance away from the group. Grant is near her, thinking. Dr. Grant. Ellie, I've been thinking there's something about the periodicity that doesn't add up. Ellie. I know. Tim holds one of the smooth rocks up and calls out, a little timidly. Tim. These look kind of familiar. Grant. Triceratops was a constant browser, and constant browsers would be constantly sick. Ellie. Constantly sick. Grant. Not just every 6 weeks. Ellie. Yeah, I know. Tim. I've seen pictures of these. Grant turns and looks at him, a little annoyed. Tim. In your fully illustrated book. Grant just rolls his eyes, but Ellie comes over and checks out the stones. Ellie. What's that? A light goes on in her eyes. Ellie. Alan, gizzard stones! She throws Grant one of the stones. They look at each other in amazement. As before, when they get excited, they talk right over each other. Grant. Elm, that's it! It explains the periodicity. Ellie. The undigested state of the berries, because it's... Grant. Totally incidental. Or unrelated to the feeding pattern. Tim. What are you guys saying? Ellie. It's simple, see? Some animals like her don't have teeth. Grant. Like birds. Ellie. Like birds, and what happens is they swallow the stones and hold them in a muscular sac in their stomachs. Grant. A gizzard. Ellie. Which is called a gizzard, and it helps them mash their food, but what happens after a while... Grant. What happens is that after a while, the stones get smooth every 6 weeks, so the animal regurgitates them. Ellie. Barfs them up. Grant. And swallows fresh ones. Ellie. And when she swallows the stones, she swallows the poison berries too, and that's what makes her sick. Good work, Tim. What we see here in the script that's not part of the actual movie is Dr. Sattler and Dr. Grant explain gastroliths, or gizzard stones, that are actually rocks that animals eat in order to go into their gastrointestinal tract to help them digest food. Because of Tim's discovery of the smooth stones that would have actually been the barfed up gizzard stones, the paleontologist and paleobotanist are able to discover the Triceratops would have ingested the poison berries when it was trying to find different rocks to ingest as gizzard stones, thus making the Triceratops sick every 6 weeks, because that is how often the animal would have barfed up and re-ingested new gizzard stones, and thus taking in the poisonous West Indian lilac berries. Small discoveries like this don't necessarily shine an entirely new light on the movie, but it is fun to see just how proficient Dr. Grant and Dr. Sattler are at their craft by being able to diagnose a brand new prehistoric animal brought back to life that they've only been able to observe from their fossil remains and now are able to see in real life. It just provides a deeper characterization to both Dr. Grant and Dr. Sattler and makes you have a greater appreciation for their characters. But that's all that we have for today's video. Thank you for watching all the way through, and if you like this video, please leave a like and comment in the comment section down below. Then also, if you feel like we deserve it and you enjoy the content we have on this channel, please subscribe to Dino Park Media. We are on our journey to 1,000 subscribers right now, and every single subscriber is appreciated. And if you want to support us directly, we actually have a Patreon page with a link down in the description, as well as a merch store, once again with the link down in the description below. But guys, I hope that you have a great rest of your day. This is Samuel from Dino Park Media, and before we go, know you are loved.